Just gonna get right into it. Want to make sure everything is running good. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. And stuff does not want to load today. Okay, I guess I'll give it a second. I don't know if we're live on YouTube. Click the button. Give me a second. Alright. Refresh. Yeah, no, it does not. Let me. Okay. Hopefully that's working now. I think it's coming through. That might make like a small VOD somewhere. That probably messed stuff up. Let me double check that didn't mess up anything huge. No, I think we're good. We'll see after this ends how this all works out. I mean, each live stream I record, so I can always upload it as like a VOD after if I need to. Let me make sure. That looks good. Okay, now it's got me worried. That's never happened before, but I think we're good now. Okay. It's still early, so I got a bit of coffee here. But hello, everybody. Hello, good morning. Or whatever, you know, whatever time it is, wherever time zone you are. Hello there, Dean. Good morning to you as well. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of some streams this week at different times than I normally do. I normally stream, you know, in the evenings on Sundays, and occasionally if I do other streams, I like streaming earlier. But I thought, you know, it'd be fun just to stream at different times. And I'm a morning person. I get up pretty early, so it's like, hey, let's do a little bit of a morning stream. And today's stream is going to be Turing Machine, which is a game I have not played for a long time on the channel. Actually, I was kind of curious. Let me go back real fast. This will only take like a second. I don't know when the last time I played Turing Machine. I mean, it was when I did the video on it for like solving problems in zero like questions, which is a fun video, but I don't think I've played it since then. So that was June 13th, 2023. So it's been over a year since I've played it on the channel. And it's still a game I very much enjoy. Me playing Search for UAPs, which is a deduction game, made me realize, like, I forgot how much I like deduction games. And it's been a while since I played Turing Machine, so I actually did play it with some friends over the weekend, which was great. But I was like, you know what, let's do a little short stream today. I don't know how long it's gonna be, probably like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, nothing crazy. But yeah, I already have the daily puzzle set up here. Let me turn down the music a little more. I know it's probably a tad loud. That should be better. Well, the song's also ending, so that's going to be more quiet now. But yeah, I have the daily puzzle set up for today. And then after that, we'll go through this. And then after that, just play a couple games. So hopefully you'll be pretty chill and all that stuff. Take another quick sip of coffee here. Yeah, I hope everybody is doing good. Okay, let's get started. So, like I said, this is the daily challenge for today. I have just my iPad off to the side that I'll be using to like pull up the site, to get the problems generated and then also verify my answers. So I'll bring that on screen whenever I need to. And yeah, I do have my fancy, whatever you want to call this, like worksheet, my little, I don't know, yeah, worksheet here, that was made by someone on Board Game Geek. I don't have it linked in the description, but if I remember to, I'll put it in the description after this video. But as you can see, it just has all of the combinations, which is super nice when you're trying to like really narrow down results. Instead of having to write them out, they're already written out and you can just cross them out. And so I have this like laminated because I'll be using like a dry erase marker. I also have my little sheet up here for initial deductions. I'm not going to be trying to go too crazy with the initial deductions today. You know, some of these may be able to be solved with just 0 questions, but I'm going to play this pretty normally. I'm still going to look for initial deductions, and I'll write them down on here. But besides that, I also do have a small piece of scrap paper off to the side just to jot down any notes or anything I might need, and I'll bring that on screen whenever I need it. So let's get started looking at some initial deductions for this first problem. I just like going verifier by verifier. Hopefully you can see the verifier is pretty easy. I don't know if zooming in like this will be better. Kind of. Where are my zones at? Okay, that's not great. Then my camera's covering that. Okay, hopefully this is fine. I'll walk through. So we got verifier A is checking if square, the second digit, is odd or even. Verifier B is the number of threes, so anywhere from 0 threes to 3 threes. Verifier C is testing which is the smallest number. Verifier D is testing the sum of all the digits. Is it odd? Is it even? Verifier E is testing the sum of the first 2 digits, which is triangle and square, compared to the number 6. Is it less than, equal to, or greater than 6? And then finally, verifier F is testing if a number repeats itself, either if you have no repetition, double numbers, or triple numbers. So those are all the verifiers that we got going on. So initial deductions for A. I don't think there are any. If square was even, for initial deductions, the main way you look at it, the way I like looking at it, is you kind of look at one of the options and you think, if this option was true, you know, if square was even, would that make any other card out here redundant? Because square being even, you wouldn't need that card. Because if that's the case, then square being even wouldn't be a possibility. But in this case, I don't think there is any for either of these options. But for B, there's gonna be some. So this tests the number of threes. Most of the time when you see this card, there might be cases where it's not the case, but most of the time you can't have 3 of a number. Because if this came back 3 threes, okay, looking at verifier A, well, if they're all 3s, you know square is odd, so that makes that card redundant. There would be no smallest number. That card wouldn't even be possible. You would know that the sum is odd. You would know every single other card if there were 3 threes. So that's just straight up not a possibility. 2 threes I also don't think is a possibility because of verifier F, which tests if a number repeats itself. So if this card told us there were 2 threes, then we would know the answer to that one is there's a double number. We wouldn't really know the answer to any other verifiers because we wouldn't know which 2 numbers are the 2 threes, but verifier F doesn't care. It's just looking if the number repeats itself, which 2 threes, that's a repetition. So I think for verifier B, there's some initial deductions to be made that we can narrow it down to either 0 or 1, 3 in the code. Pretty good. You know, that narrows down 2 options right off the bat. Okay, which number is the smallest? I don't think any deductions can be made on this one. Sometimes it can happen, but you need some other cards there for that to really start working with some initial deductions. D and E, I normally, with these cards, once again, it's been a while since I've played. It hasn't been a year. I mean, I've played it since I last played it on the channel, but I definitely haven't been playing it as much as I was back then. So I might be a little rusty, especially with the initial deductions and all that, but D and E, I feel like normally don't ever have any initial deductions for them, at least those types of cards. The sum of all the digits and the sum of the first 2 digits compared to 6. So that's that. And then finally, if a number repeats itself in the code. This one I got to think about for a second. So if there was no repetition, that would not fully make B redundant. It kind of would half make it, so that is not like an actual initial deduction. It's still something you can use, but it's not like an actual initial deduction. If we tested that and it said there's a double number, that wouldn't tell us about the 3s, because the 3s could be the double number or they couldn't be. Same with triple. They could be the double number, the triple number, or they couldn't be. I don't think there can be a triple number because of this card, but I don't think that's a valid deduction. And this is one little slippery slope that I find myself falling into when it comes to initial deductions with this game, is that it's how the initial deductions, because my logic is if there's a triple number, that means all numbers are the same. That also means all numbers are equal. So there's not a single smallest number. So I don't think there could be a triple number. This card wouldn't even be possible, but I don't know if that's a valid deduction. So for now, I'm not going to write anything for F. I'm going to play on the side of caution. We'll see if that was right or not. But I've fallen into that trap a few times with initial deductions where I'm not using the actual information from the card, but more like meta information. So it's not necessarily that there's a triple number, but the fact that if all the numbers are equal, there can't be a smallest. In this card, you need a smallest. Like, I don't think that works. Like, it seems like it should, and maybe this isn't a case for that, but I'm just gonna play it safe. But still, we got two things deduced. So now we gotta pick our starting combination. What do I wanna test? I like narrowing down things with multiple options. So like B, C, and F are all ones I wanna test right now. 0 or 1, 3, there's probably 1, 3. Could be 0, I don't know. C, just test any of the smallest, it doesn't really matter. And then F, I think. So we're just, you know what? I'm not gonna think too much about it because we just need a simple code. We're gonna do the classic 1, 2, 3. So I got my punch cards there. Let me quickly write down on my sheet my code and we'll get to testing. So verifier B, we're testing, is there a single 3 in the final code? This came back no. So there are no 3s actually. Jot that down real fast. That was B. B came back a negative. So we know with B that there's 0 3s. And I'll just like cross that out. And we could cross them out over here, but I'm not gonna do stuff over here till like I kind of need to. So it's a good start. That's a good start. We're narrowing stuff down. Verifier C, is triangle the smallest? And it came back a negative. So triangle is not the smallest. Either square or circle will be the smallest. Square or circle, smallest. Great. Getting more info as we go. Then finally, is there no repetition? And it came back a negative. So these are double or triple repetition. Interesting. Okay, put the cards back. That was F. And that came back big old negative. So double or triple. Which, like I said, I really think I can rule out triple. So I'm going to just kind of assume it's double, but not lock it in. Not locking that in yet. Let me get a quick sip of coffee here. I'll also, if I try to remember after this, I'll post the description or the link in the description for this sheet on Board Game Geek. I'll also try to put all the game codes. I'm gonna do like timestamps like I normally do. And I'll put the game codes in the timestamps for people in the future like wanna, you know, play the same games or whatever. I'll have it in there because I didn't show. I'm doing the daily challenge, but I'll grab the timestamp for that and whatnot. Okay, so that was our first round of deductions. We got a good amount of info. Okay. Hello, the JJJ Dragon. Well, good luck with beating the machine. So one of my favorite board games to play. The only downside for me is the setup. Yeah, the setup isn't great. Yeah, no, this is a fun game. I really enjoyed this when I first got it, and I played it a ton when I first got it, and then I've played it on and off over the past year, but I was like, you know what? I need to get back into it because it's such a good game. Like solo, co-op. I mean, I don't know if I've ever played this competitively whenever I play with other people. I think it's just more fun playing co-op. But yeah, I think it's a great game. I really want to start. I didn't mess much with the hard difficulty yet and the nightmare and extreme modes. So I really want to start diving into that at some point. I don't think we'll get to that today. Today's gonna be just pretty chill playing probably like standard questions. But yeah, no, I really enjoy this game. I think it's just also so like innovative with the whole idea of making the punch cards. You got these and like just how the game works is very interesting. How they, I don't know, the algorithm they use to make all of this work, I think is just super impressive. I need to figure out what I want to test. So hold on, if square or circle is the smallest, we know triangle is not the smallest. If triangle is not the smallest, triangle cannot be 1. Okay. We've narrowed down, there's no 3s. There's probably a double. I don't think there's a triple. once again, because I think if a number is the smallest, it has to be smaller. So I think we're going to have a smallest number and then 2 doubles. That's what it seems like. But now I need to start narrowing down exactly. I need to figure out what's the smallest. I think that'll be good. And then maybe the first 2 digits added to 6. And then maybe I'll be able to solve from there. I don't know. When I do play, I usually play on Tabletop Simulator and put the card numbers into auto sets up. Oh, okay. I do know. I don't know if you are on Board Game Arena, but this is on Board Game Arena. I haven't actually played it much on there. I don't know if they have the solo mode. I think they probably do. It's been a while since, but I know it's on there, so I should play it on. But I don't think the setup, the setup's not great, but it could be worse. Like Board Game Arena, I really like playing games like Gaia Project and Space Empires 4X that take like a long time to set up and kind of a lot of rules, and it takes a while to play. But I was actually just playing like earlier this morning, and I was playing a bit of Jump Drive on Board Game Arena, even though that's a pretty quick game to like set up and play, but it's even quicker on Board Game Arena because I got a game in literally in like less than 5 minutes for just to click play through. I was doing like the campaign number 2, but yeah, I like Board Game Arena a lot. I'll shill for them because I've been using them for years and I'm a big fan, but they just keep adding more games and it's like $30 a year. It's such a good value. So anyway, so round number 2. Okay, I want to test C, but I don't want to test too many. We're already at 3 questions, and I think once you hit 4, you're probably fine. 5 and 6, you run the risk of losing, generally, on standard. It can vary. So I need to figure out what the smallest is. So let's say the smallest is square. Then I have to figure out... I still don't know a lot. I've only locked in one thing so far. There are 6 verifiers. This is a little worrisome. I guess once we know this, that'll also pretty easily help us know this. Square being even or odd, I don't know how much that's gonna help. I guess it's gonna narrow it down a little bit. But I'd rather ask C and E and then maybe D. And then hopefully figure it out before that last question. But we'll see what kind of responses we get from the computer. So I want to test is circle the smallest? Doesn't really matter, so we'll go with that. And then what do I want to test? Probably that triangle and square are larger than 6. So we're going to go with like 4, 4, 1. That sounds good to me because we got a smallest, we got something that's larger than 6. I think that'll work for what we need. I try not to think too long about the code because at the end of the day, you just gotta figure out what you want to test and test it. So is circle the smallest? It is. Okay, good answer. I mean, we would have gotten an answer anyway. We were down to kind of 2 different results. So circle is the smallest, so that means circle can't be 5, and square can't be 1. Circle is smallest. That also seems, like I said, it's probably likely that it's either... I think the answers are either... Maybe I'll even write this down like my scrap paper, but I think it's going to be either 2, 2, 1... Oh, there's so many more options. Wait, 4, 4, 1, 5, 5, 1... 4, 4, 2, 5, 5, 2, or 5, 5, 4. I mean, that's still a lot of options, but I think that's it. Those 6 options. So that's not bad. And we start with like 120 something. So we're already at 4 questions. I might be able to figure it out from here. Let me see. Let me take a gander. So we don't know A, D, and E. And technically, we don't know F, but I'm really assuming that it's not going to be a triple number. If so, that would add in 2 more options. So I guess we can... But I don't think it can be, because something has to be the smallest. I refuse to... You know what? I'm locking it in. It has to be double. There's no way it can't be a double. Because then a number can't be the smallest. I say that. That's a true thing. So yeah, let me try to figure out. So we don't know A, which is what is square, odd, or even. We don't know D, what is the sum of all the numbers, and we don't know E, what is the sum of the first 2 digits compared to 6. So now let me zoom in here. I'm working on my worksheet. So let's go with A first. A is testing the middle digit. Is it even or odd? So we got even, odd, odd. Okay, D is testing the sum of all the digits. So we got, make sure I don't mess this up, odd. That's also odd. That's also odd. That's even, and that's even. And then finally the sum of the first two digits compared to 6. So that's just gonna be less than, greater than, greater than, greater than, greater than, and greater than. Okay, does anything stick out? Yeah, I mean, I think it's either 442 or 551. I think at this point, I just need to ask either A or D, and I think it would give me the right result. I'm really... Well, I kind of want to... Wait, would E not help? E doesn't help in this case. So D would tell us more than anything. So let's ask... I'll play it safe. There's no way it gets it in less than 4. And if we tie, it's fine. So I'm going to take a bit of a risk. I'm thinking right now, if I had to lock in an answer, I wouldn't be able to, because it would be 50-50. But we'll see what D comes back with, because that'll tell us a lot. So our current sum is 441, which is odd. So is the sum of all the digits odd? And this comes back yes. So I think it's 551. That came back yes. Sum is odd, which basically eliminates, we had 6 options, it eliminates everything down there. Dang, actually, I think I still have to ask the last question. I don't think there's a way for me to know. I think that was a mistake. Maybe not. Maybe I should have tested A though, but I don't know. Because look, I was all confident in my work, but I didn't see that this symbol was different. Because these are different. So we know it's odd. How did I get in this situation? How am I doing so bad? Did I just ask bad questions? This is a bad game. Because we know D now, but these are all the same. I'm gonna ask A. I don't know. I might still have to ask one more question. That's gonna be embarrassing if I have to ask 7. There's still a chance with 7 I might win. Is square even? It is. Okay, that eliminated one option. That was a bit of a gamble. That only eliminated one option. This sucks. Okay. And that came back, what, true? I'm just gonna have to ask one more question. I genuinely don't think I can solve without this. So I'm just gonna ask E with what I have. Is the sum of the first two greater than 6? It is, so that means the code I've had for the last 2 rounds was actually right. 441? Well, I think it's right. We'll see if it's actually right. Let me grab the old computer, the actual computer. We're gonna test a code. So I'm saying it's 441, right? There's something small, so we got doubles, that adds up to odd. Squares even. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, good. That is the correct code. What I'm not so confident in is that we beat the machine, but who knows? I mean, there's times where they get it in 7, and in cases of tie, we win. So let me make sure. Not a good start though, starting with a 7. What was the last one? E. Doesn't really matter. It's just the number of them that matters. So with 7, did we beat the machine? We did. It took them 8 questions. Wow. I was all down on myself, but machine sucks worse than I do, man. Okay, well, Still a tough first game, but I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't know if I've ever seen the machine get it in 8. I've seen it in 7. Not in 8. Lucky for us, though. Hey, I'll take it. A win's a win. There's the daily challenge, so. All right, let me put this away, and then we'll get going with the next game. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is a little unfortunate part of this game. Is as fun as it is, yeah, the setup and teardown is a little bit to do. It's not bad compared to, you know, I guess there's a spectrum depending on what games you play, but I think it's worth it. 741, okay. Oh, this song is so good. Machine doesn't have caffeine yet, which is why it needed 8. That's fair. That's fair. It just needs a little jump start in the morning. And I can relate to that. But we're gonna start. I don't know. We're not gonna bump up the difficulty, but we'll maybe. So this was a 6 verifier. So maybe we'll go on the other end and do just 4, and then maybe like 5 and 6, and then kind of just like jump around with the number of verifiers. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. How long did that take? That didn't take long, right? 25 minutes, 26 minutes. Okay. Some good coffee. It's good old French vanilla, just like K-cup coffee. Nothing fancy. Nothing added. Though I do like a good like latte or something. Normally if I go to like a coffee place, I'll get like a latte, but at home most of the time, and I'll just drink black coffee. But it's good. It's good. Gotten used to the taste. I definitely didn't like the taste of black coffee at first, but I've come around. Okay, so we're gonna do play. We're gonna keep it on solo, classic, standard. We're gonna go with 4 verifiers. There's the code. Once again, I will put the code in the description when I do the timestamps. So if you want to play at another point in time or watching the VOD later or whatever, it'll be there. But I'm going to put this off screen now because it takes up too much screen space. And let's get these next ones going. All right. I'm excited to see how this next one goes because lots of verifiers, you get a lot of initial deductions, but you know, with 4, it doesn't happen as much. So we will see how this goes. But I guess, I mean, I was right assuming that it could be doubles last round, so that was something. And I kind of just did go off that assumption, so that would have been tough, though. I guess if I didn't have those initial deductions, like, that's why they're pretty important, even if you don't go too in-depth with them. They make the difference. That's not good. I'm not. Uh-oh, is there a card out of place? Am I missing a card? Oh, God. Hold on. I went right to where this card's supposed to be. Wait. 480. 483. Oh, no. There's a card missing. It's probably not missing. It's just out of place, surely. But now I gotta go through every single card in the deck. So give me a second. Make sure none of them are like sticking together. Okay, I found it. That was actually pretty quick. That was pretty quick. Lucky. Okay. I hope there's not more out of place. Okay, second one, we're good. Okay, all right, we're so back. We are so back. 541, all right. It's a lucky number. And 317. Okay. We are set up. New round, new me. Oh, I guess I to wipe down my little initial deduction board, which we will definitely do. First off, so this game for verifier standard classic mode, standard difficulty classic mode. Verifier A is testing once again if square is even or odd. Verifier B is testing the smallest number. Verifier C is testing how many even numbers are in the code from 0 to 3. Verifier D is testing first two digits added to 6, or first two digits added up compared to 6. So a lot of similar, we have 3 similar verifiers from what we had last time, but some of these are pretty common. Like the D one is pretty common. Smallest one happens a lot. I don't know about the A, but whatever. So initial deductions, here we go. A, I don't think there are any. Like I said last time, most of the time the single card, even or odd, doesn't really tell us anything. If it says it's even, it kind of helps with C, but it doesn't fully tell us anything. Same with if it's odd, it kind of helps with C, doesn't really tell us fully though. So B, a number is the smallest. Don't think there is any initial deduction there. C, with the number of even numbers though, right? There are some initial deductions, because if there were zero even numbers, well then A, we would know that square is odd if there's no even numbers, so that can't be. And if there were 3 even numbers, well then we know square is even, so we wouldn't need A, and that can't be. So we know that there's either 1 or 2 even numbers, which is pretty helpful to know. And then finally with D, the sum of the first 2 digits added to 6. I don't think there are any initial deductions. Maybe there are, but most of the time I feel like with that one, they don't happen. But still, that helps with card C. We go from 4 options to 2 that we can just narrow down in a single go. So, all right, what do I want to test first? Well, like I kind of said, I normally like testing stuff with multiple options. So B, C, and D are what I'm looking at here. I don't know if it's normally greater than 6 or less than 6. Seems pretty 50-50. Obviously, it's not exactly 50-50 because there's a third option, but those two are more likely than it equaling 6. So I'm going to go less than. I'm going to test for triangle being the smallest, and I'm going to go with 1 even number. And I got the best combination for this because I'm going to go with 1 and then 2, and then get ready for this, 3. Yep. The 1, 2, 3 combo is back. So 1, 2, 3, and let's get testing. So verifier B, we're testing, is triangle the smallest? And hey, we got it on the first go. Triangle is the smallest. Love to see that. Get some good info right off the bat. Triangle is smallest, which means a couple of things. If triangle is the smallest, that means square and circle cannot be 1. And triangle cannot be 5, because, you know, if triangle is the smallest, it can't be the largest number, and the other numbers, they can't be the smallest number, so that's why you can eliminate some stuff there. All right, moving forward to C. Is there a single even number? And this comes back check mark. There is 1 even number. Getting pretty good odds here. So 1 even number. So that doesn't really eliminate anything at the moment, but hey, good to know. And then finally with D, is the sum of the first 2 digits less than 6? And it comes back, no, it is not. It is not. So triangle plus square is either greater than or equal to 6. So that's where we're at, but the 1, 2, 3 really... It got us places, all right? You can't sleep on the 1, 2, 3 combo. It's classic for a reason. So, okay. Now there's 1 even number. The sum of the first 2 digits either adds to 6 or is greater than 6. And also, triangle is the smallest. So that's interesting. So there's 1 even number. That's also interesting. You know, it would be nice to ask A, because if we know there's 1 even number, is square the even number? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That would help kind of a lot. We also don't know if they add to 6. We already got 3 questions, so I'd like to try to just ask 1 more if possible, and then ask again if we need to. So I'm trying to figure out what is better to ask, A or D. If y'all in chat watching right now have an opinion, let me know. I'd love any, you know, advice or opinions. But I don't know what would be more advantageous to test, because we know there's 1 even number. So A could tell us for sure if square is the even number, or it would tell us, give us a 50-50 shot of knowing is triangle or circle the even number. So it'd give good info. D would probably be better, because then we'd know the first two digits is either equal to 6 or more than 6. Once again, I think right now it's probably more than 6, because that just, with the number of combinations you have, I think that's just more likely. So I still got to test it though. I mean, at this point, I probably could go on my paper and start narrowing stuff down, but like I said, I'm not trying to get too crazy with my deductions today and go too in depth with stuff, because you can, but I don't want to. I'm leaning more towards D, and then maybe whooping back to test A. So I think that's what I'll do. So I'm trying to test if they're greater than 6. So I'm just gonna go with like 5, 5. That can't be. Hold on. Because triangle has to be the smallest. So we're gonna go with like 3, 4, 5. We went with 1, 2, 3 in the first round. We'll go with 3, 4, 5 in the second. Take a quick sip of coffee. Oh, best song on the album. Here it comes. It's time. The building theme number 1. I think that's the one, right? That'd be embarrassing if it's not. Yeah, it's building mode number 1. Okay, so 345 is our new code. Let's test verifier D. It comes back a check mark. Look at that. I was right, but I still asked the question, so it's fine. Because there was a chance, you know, it's not impossible that they equal 6. It's just less likely. So we know that triangle plus square is greater than 6, and that's really interesting, right? Because that leaves one of two combinations. It's either 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. So 4, 5, 5 seems legit. 3, 4, 5, kind of a meme answer earlier, but that might be the option. And I think it would all depend on is square, even, or odd. So I think this is a point where we don't need to ask another question, maybe. And I'm just gonna go to my scrap paper here, and we're gonna figure this out, hopefully, surely. So triangle has to be the smallest, but I guess that could be like 1 and 5, right? That would also be legit. What? There has to be only one even number. This is tough. Okay, but the only thing we don't know right now is A. So I think if I start writing these out for the options where square is even or options where square is odd, one of these is going to have more than one answer. And once we figure that out, like we're fine. Because we know everything else, right? Triangle is the smallest. The sum add, oh, that's right. No, the sum has to add more than 6. So this couldn't even be 1 anymore. And then that means these can't be 2. So that narrows down some stuff, right? But if this is 2, then this would have to be 5. Because there can only be 1 even. And then that would also have to be 5. And that's fine. So like 2, 5, 5 works. But wait, let's write this down. So square is even, or square is odd. We just need to find which of these has more than one option, and we've won. So let's start with 2. What are our options for 2? There's one even number, so if square is odd, 2, 5, 5 would fall under that. 2, 4, 5, nope, 1 even. So we got 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. That's if square is even. 3, 5, 5 also works. And that's where square is odd. So I think at this point, can we find any more options where square is even? If square is even, it has to be 4. If the sum has to be more than 6, this has to be 3. This is the smallest, and there can't be another even number. I think 3, 4, 5 is our answer. QED. Okay, let's verify if I'm right, but that'd be kind of funny if my little jokey joke code was okay. Come on, iPad, it's me. So test a code 345. I'm fairly confident in that. Verify the code. That is correct. Look at that. I kind of know what I'm talking about here. It's almost like I've played this game a little bit. All right, add all those in. Only asked 4 questions because that's all you need for this one, apparently. Did I beat the machine? Of course I did. 4 questions. They got it in 6. Sucks for them. But that was a good game. That was a good game. That was a good one. That was a fun little final code. 345. Love to see it. We will reset. That one went a lot quicker, right? That only took like 15 minutes. Smoking through these. Yeah, this game's so fun. This game's so fun. Sort these out. Make sure I don't put these in the wrong spot. I'll freak out when I can't find a card again. $5.30. Have you ever beaten it in 1 round, 3 questions? Absolutely. I mean, I've done a whole video of certain problems that you can beat without asking any questions at all. With just getting the right verifiers out here and making enough initial deductions that you can, there are certain problems you can beat without asking a single question. It doesn't happen very often, and it takes a lot of time to like go through the options and like, okay, if this was true, what would this eliminate? But it's definitely possible. It was my last time I played Turing Machine was like the video I did that. They might have taken 6, but at least they had their cards in order. That's true. You know what? That's fair. That's on me. All right. What? Okay. We're gonna probably just do like we'll just bump up the verifier number after this. So we'll go to, I don't know. Yeah, we'll go to 5 verifiers. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. I gotta wipe down my stuff real fast. My trusty microfiber cloth that I use for all my board games. You can see it's looking a little rough right now, especially after me playing the search for UAPs a lot. Which, that's a fun game. I really enjoyed that. I've been playing some games I really enjoy on the channel recently, especially like my games I picked up from Gen Con. Pretty great. I think I did good at like researching ones I'd like and then demoing some, and then cause I'm like Star Tycoon I'm really impressed with, and Gentle Rain I quite like, and UAPs is really good, and haven't got a chance to try any of the RPGs I picked up, but yeah, sometimes you get games and they just don't like click, but I'm happy with all my new purchases I've been making. Yeah, so we're just doing a standard difficulty, the standard play solo mode, whatever. 5 verifiers. There's the code. Once again, I'll have it in the description afterwards. And yeah, I'll get this set up. I'll talk about, I should have mentioned this like at the beginning of the stream. But I mean, I mentioned it at the end of my last stream because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be streaming this week. I was gonna do some extra streams. Well, here I am. This is an extra stream and there's more coming. So I posted this in my Discord, my schedule, but I will be streaming again. I'll talk about this also at the end, but I'll be streaming again Thursday morning, starting 2 hours later. So I started today at like 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. my time. I'll be starting 11 a.m. where I'll be playing Forbidden Lands. And then I'll also be doing a stream Friday where I'll be playing some one-page tabletop RPGs that are part of the recent jam that's going on. So there's like a one-page RPG jam where people can create tabletop RPGs that fit on a single page. And there's like a little creator jam going on that I guess they've done a couple years now. I know this is at least the 2nd year they've done it. I haven't really looked into any of the last year's stuff at all, but I've been looking to some of this year's submissions, and they look really cool and fun. So I'm going to be playing some of those on Friday. So those are some little extra bonus streams. I'm also like, I'm not doing a video this week, so I'm just doing some extra streams instead, and also streaming at different times because I normally stream on Sundays in the evening, and I know sometimes people are busy at certain times of the week and can't stream or like can't watch, or it's like time zones are a thing, so sometimes that's an issue. So I figured I'll stream different times just to shake it up a little bit. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a morning person, so I kind of like doing these morning streams. It's morning here, but yeah. Place that there, and then one more card. 767. Oh, I love that. Hopefully the music's not too loud, and you'll have to let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet. But I think I did some audio tests before, and I think the music should be a pretty good level. I really like this soundtrack. I think it's a good just background music, even though it's not the longest soundtrack in the world. I see this playlist is an hour and a half. I guess I normally stream for a decent amount of time, so I always hear it loop like 2 or 3 times. All right. New problem to solve. So, this song's really good too. Man, I can say that about every song on this album. Okay, so initial deductions. Let's get looking. I think there's going to be some this time. So we'll start. I would just just going around with all verifiers. So starting with verifier A. Verifier A is testing what the first digit is, which is triangle, compared to 3. So is it less than, equal to, or greater than 3? Verifier B is testing is circle, the last digit, even or odd. Verifier C is testing the number of ones in the code from 0 ones to 3 ones. Verifier D is testing which number is the largest. And verifier E, back again, fan favorite verifier, what is triangle and square compared to 6? The first 2 digits compared to 6. We're 3 for 3 with this verifier, so it's sticking around. It's not going anywhere. So initial deduction time. So for A, are there any initial deductions? It's kind of a tough one. So obviously it's not going to mess with B. C, the number of 3s. No. D is an interesting one though. So if it's the largest. So if triangle was 4, that wouldn't necessarily make it the largest because the other 2 digits could be 5. And if triangle was 2, it doesn't necessarily make it the smallest because the other digits could still be 1. So I don't think A and D cancel each other out in any way. E, though, I also don't think tells us anything because if triangle was less than 3, it would be 2. Square could still be 1, and that add up to less than 6. Square could be something, whatever. That wouldn't narrow out any of the 3 options on E. Same with if triangle was 4, square could be 1, that'd be 5. That's less than 6. Square could be 2, and then that's equal, or 3, and then it's greater. So I don't think there's any initial deductions with A, even though there seems like there might be close to being some, but I don't think there are any. B, nope. I don't think there's any. C, there's almost always some with these kinds of cards. So the number of ones in the code. Obviously, there can't be three ones. That would just make every other verifier out here redundant, obsolete, superfluous, I think is the term they use in the rule book. So can't be 3 ones. Could it be 2 ones though? Could it be 2 ones? So this is another area. No, I think that's fine. That's fine. 2 ones doesn't harm anybody. 1 doesn't matter. Does 0 ones do anything for you though? That's the good question here. 0 ones. No, I don't think that really ruins any other card. So I think it just is 0, 1, or 2 ones. I think. I wish there was a way to eliminate another option, but I'm not seeing it if there is. Verifier D, which is the largest? If square is the largest, it's close, and I don't think it messes with verifier A. So I think that's fine. Circle being the largest, doesn't matter if it's odd or even. Triangle being the largest, doesn't say anything for the number of ones. Triangle square being the largest, doesn't really say anything for the number, or the sum added to 6. So I think nothing there. And then finally, verifier E. I don't think that does anything for any verifiers. So not a whole lot of initial deductions. Specifically, I spent all that time to eliminate a single option from a single card. But you know what? They're handy. When there's a lot of them, it really helps. So I don't mind doing that. Okay, so what I want to test, well, like I always do, I like kind of testing the stuff with multiple options. So I'm thinking C, D, and E. Number of ones, what is the smallest, and the sum added to 6. I think it's time for crowd favorite code of 1, 2, 3. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. It's a great code. It's one of the best, I would say. So let's test verifier C. Is there a single 1? And there is. We had a 1 in 3 chance, and we got it on the first go. 1, 2, 3 does not fail. So we know that for verifier C, there's exactly one number 1. Doesn't really eliminate anything yet, but that's good. That was a lucky guess. Wasn't lucky. It was just the power of 1, 2, 3. All right, so we're going to test verifier D. Which number is the largest? Is circle the largest? It is not. Circle is not the largest. 1, 2, 3 has failed us. That code is dead to me. Just joking. So that was verifier D, so that means either square or triangle is the largest. Good to know, good to know. So hold on. We know that circle isn't the largest, so we can at least rule out that circle cannot be 5. That's one digit we can rule out. That's something. We need to start getting more, but it's something. And then finally, let's test verifier E. Is the sum of the first 2 digits less than 6? And we get it on the first go. Okay, 1, 2, 3 is redeeming themselves. Verifier E comes back a big old check mark. And so we know that triangle plus square is going to be less than 6. Kind of big info to know. Because right now, triangle or square is going to be the largest. And the sum of those two has to be less than 6. So it's going to be something like, you know, square is 4, and then triangle is 1, and then circle is like 2. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but something like that. Put these back and kind of think about what I've got so far. So 1, 1 doesn't really eliminate anything. We know triangle and square have to be less than 6. So that actually does eliminate 5 as a possibility, right? If it has to be less than 6, smallest one can be is 1, then 5 is no longer a possibility for any digit. Which also means if they could all have an equal chance of being 4, that is the new largest number, then circle can't be 4 because circle can't be the largest number. Once we know what the largest is, we can also eliminate 1 as that option. There is a 1 floating around there somewhere, so we do have to know one of these will be 1. And it seems likely that, I guess I don't know which it is. I'm thinking right now it's not going to be circle. I'm thinking circle is going to be something like 2. And then triangle or square is going to be 1. But we still don't even know A, and that's going to have to be... So I think I need to ask D? And then A? Do I ask A or then D? I mean, we're only at 3 questions so far, so that's not bad. You know, I don't like, 4 is fine. 5, I think, is where I start feeling a little woozy, that I might start losing. And I don't want to lose to some stupid machine. Can't let that happen. So we know one of them's 1. The sum is less than 6. Triangle or square is going to be the largest. Whichever one's the largest is definitely not the one. I think I gotta ask both and then just guess on B. That sucks if that's what I'm gonna be left with. This is where I get a little tripped up because like I think there is a better choice between asking A or asking D, and I don't know which is the better choice right now. A, because we don't know what triangle's deal is. If it comes back, it's great, and we haven't even narrowed it down, so there's a chance we get it wrong. It's either 1 or 2, 3, 4. So it seems like it's more likely that it's less. It's the 1 or 2. So I'm thinking it could be something like 2, 1, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Not even joking, that could be a possibility. Not even joking. That would be crazy if it was right? Because last time it was 4, 5, 6, and then I started with 1, 2, 3. That'd be crazy if it was 1. Right now, that's a completely legal possibility with the clues we have. No, actually, that's not. I take that back. 1, 2, 3 is not, because circle can't be the largest. So that's dumb. I take it back. 1, 2, 3 sucks again. You think B is guaranteed right now for one of those options? I agree. I think that's kind of what I was saying earlier, because I think if one of these has to be 1, yeah, you know, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I was leaning towards B has to be even, and I say that. And you can once again correct me if I'm wrong, because right now there's 3 options, 1, 2, or 3. If we asked it, is it odd? That would leave us with 2 options. But if we asked it if it's even, that just tells us it's 2. That was my thinking. But I also, you know, I didn't want to lock that in because I don't know if that's, you know, a very for sure argument. I don't know if that, yeah, I don't know if that holds up, because that's why I was thinking is something like 3, 1, 2 or 2, 3, 1. All of those would work, but I don't know if that's, I don't know if that would actually check out, because that would help. So maybe I should, oh, exactly what you're thinking. Okay, so that, okay, makes me feel better that I'm not alone. Yeah, I was, yeah, okay, that was a good point. It makes me feel better that I'm not alone in thinking that. So I'll put like an arrow next to 2. I'm not gonna fully circle it. I'm not gonna fully commit, but it really does seem like that's a strong possibility. But I still think I need to at very least test D. I have to. So I'm gonna go with 3, 1, 2. See what that looks like. See, because I gotta ask at least one more question. Maybe 2, hopefully not 3. That would suck, but this is the situation we're in. So 3, 1, 2, asking D is triangle the largest, and it comes back a check mark. So let me jot this down. 3, 1, 2, asking D, came back a check mark, triangle equals largest. So if that's the case, a couple of things. That means triangle can't be 1 anymore. If triangle's the largest, D can't be, or sorry, square can't be 4. You think you have the no code right now? It might be wrong. Okay, yeah. Let me know if, you know, once I submit it, if you were right or not. I'm curious. Did you know it before I got that last question, or did that last question just like solidify it? If triangle's the largest, 4, I want to just write down what the possibilities are, I guess. So we got 4, start with 4. It can't be 3, can't be 2, so 1. You know, there's only 1, 1. 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3. Then we got 3, 3, 2, 1. That actually works. 3, 2, 1 kind of works. Oh, it was before. Oh, okay, okay. Dang. Maybe something I'm missing here. I'm working through it. I'm working through it. So 3, 2, 1 or 3, 1, 2. Can't be 3, 1, 3 because that's tied for the... And then that's it. So it's only these 4 options. I think. I could be wrong. Is there something I'm missing here? I feel like there's something I'm missing, or I'm messing up. Hold on. All these have triangle being the largest. There's 1, 1. The sum of the first 2 is less than 6. I guess we still don't know A. I keep forgetting that. We don't know A. A would tell us if it's 3 or 4, essentially. Second guessing yourself now, though. Sometimes I go too fast. That's fair. That's fair. That's totally understandable. Because I'm looking at this. I don't know. Let me make sure I got all the valid options. Let me zoom in on my worksheet here. So this is what we've confirmed. We've asked 4 questions. No, triangle is the largest. Can't be 5 because the sum has to be less than 6. So it's either 4, 3, or 2. If it's 4, has to be the largest. That can't be 3 because that's more than 6. That can't be 2 because it's more than 6. So 4, 1 could be 4, 1, 2, could be 4, 1, 3. Both are valid. 3, 2, 1, and 3, 1, 2 can't be 3, 1, 3 or 3, 2, 3. Could be 3, 2, 2. No, there has to be a 1. So 3, 2, 1 or 3, 1, 2. And they can't be 2 because there's only 1, 1. I think these are the final 4 options, but I think I'm going to have to ask kind of a lot more questions. I mean, it seems like I could ask... No, that wouldn't help. It seems like I have to ask like 2 more questions. I'm going to have to ask A and maybe B. What is A? A is for... Yeah, because it seems like either... This is kind of a bad situation I found myself in, because it seems like either if I ask... There's 4 options, and if I ask B, it'll eliminate half of them, but then I'll still have 2, and A will eliminate half of them, but then I'll still have 2. I think I have to ask both. I don't think there's a way out of this. What do you think there, JJJ Dragon? Do you see in anything? I think I have to ask more questions unless I'm completely missing something. Because A would tell us if it's either the first 2 options or the bottom 2, and then B would tell us of those options which is correct. But I don't think I can just ask one and get all the info. Maybe there is if I kind of work backwards, but I don't feel like doing that right now. I kind of just want to just play it forward. So I think I got to ask something. Your first idea was 412. Okay. I think you do need A and B. I think I do too. Unfortunately, I don't see another way out of this situation without prompting both, unless I want to take a guess at the end, which I don't like to do. I like to know the code. So let's ask A. Is triangle equal to 3? Okay, it's not. Your guess is looking closer and closer. So A is incorrect, or A came back false. So that means triangle is greater than 3. So basically triangle is 4. And square would have to be 1 in this situation. So we have 4, 1. And then it's a 50-50 chance. Is it 2 or is it 3? Like I said, there might be a way that I can get by without asking this, but I'm just going to ask it. So is circle even? It is not. It is not even. Circle is not even. This is a huge upset. It's actually 413. It's actually 413. This is an insane turn of events, the likes no one has seen in Turing Machine history. But here we are. That was what? So B came back negative. I mean, you're pretty close. 412. I mean, that's 1 digit off, but I mean, like I said, I was also with you on the circle deduction, but then like the more I thought about it, I was like, that doesn't really hold up. That's why I didn't fully write it down, but Let's double check. 413, I think, is for sure the answer. Let's lock it in, and that is the code. All right, so we got the code. Great. But then, did we beat the machine? That's the real big question mark on this game. So false, false, and true. 6 questions. Definitely not feeling confident, but there's still a chance. Did we beat the machine? We did. It took them 7 questions. We got it in 6. So still a win nonetheless. All right, well, I'll reset and we'll keep on keeping on. I'll go back to 6 verifiers, and then who knows? Maybe we'll get a little crazy and hop into the hard problems, which I really haven't played with much, so like that's gonna be like a struggle. It's not gonna be good, but I could do it just for fun. It might be kind of fun just to try it out more, because I want to try them out more, but they're a bit intimidating, you know. There's some tough verifiers they throw in there. I don't know if my puny little human brain can handle that. It's too early in the morning for that, you know? But I'm pretty warmed up. I haven't lost a game yet, so I'm not trying to brag, but we'll see how these next ones go. $54, 61, okay. This is fun. I'm glad to be returning to this game. I think this is a game I need to return to more frequently on the channel. But the issue is like right now, I don't know, I'm only doing like 1 stream and 1 video that's like at least scheduled a week. And it's not enough time. Like there's just so many games new games I want to play and old games I want to return to that it's just a struggle. That's why I'm glad I'm able to get some extra streams in this week. And be just playing some new stuff, return to some old stuff, a little bit of everything, you know? Turing Machine, so we're gonna go with play, standard, classic, 6 verifiers, generate, boom. There's the code, and I'll get that out of the way as I set up this next game. 4, 5. Will we see the 1 verifier for a 4th time? Who knows? Probably, to be honest. It seems likely at this point. If I was a betting man, I'd be betting on that. It actually seems like, no, we don't. So, good thing I'm not a betting man, because I would have lost money. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Hello there, Katie K. Good morning to you too. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing good. Just having some chill vibes today as we're playing through some Turing Machine and actually doing pretty good. I don't mean to brag, but we haven't lost yet, so it's going pretty good. Oh no, my playlist ended. Please, bring back the music. I can't stand the silence. The voices. There we go. There we go. Fixed. Okay, 414. There it is. 518. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. I've only been streaming for an hour? Is that right? I've already got 4 games in an hour? That can't be right. I guess that is right. Dang. I was gonna say time flies when you're having fun, but I'm having a good time, but we're getting a lot of games in, so I don't know. Okay. All set up for the next game. I'll quickly walk through that. I just realized that the chat is kind of covering the verifier cards. I wish I would have saw that earlier. Whoops. I wonder if I can like temporarily move it. Where would I move it to? I can move it like next to me or like over here. I don't know. Yeah, y'all can hang up there. How about that? Away from me. Get away from me. My goodness. Give me some breathing room, jeez. All right, so next game setup. I'll quickly talk through the verifiers. So we got verifier A. It's comparing the square to the number 4. Is it less than, equal to, or greater than? Verifier B is testing triangle. The first digit, is it odd or even? Verifier C, testing the number of 3s in the code, anywhere from 0 to 3. Verifier D is testing the smallest number. Verifier E is testing if there is a number present exactly twice. So is there a pair of numbers? If there is 3 of a number, that's not a pair, so that doesn't count. And then finally F, a verifier we haven't seen in a while, actually probably not at all today, is the order of the numbers. Are they in ascending, descending, or no order? So that one is one I like to see, especially for initial deductions. That usually interacts with cards a lot. So that will be probably pretty crucial in these first initial deductions. So see if you can see any. I'm gonna look it over, take a sip of coffee, and try to figure out what I can figure out here. Hello there, Tom. You can only bring one logic puzzle to the desert island where you'll be stranded with nothing else to play for 20 years. That's a long time. Which logic puzzle are you bringing, this or the search for UAPs? That's a good question. Because I think as a game, I like this one better. As a logic puzzle, as a deduction game, I like this one better. But I think the thing I like so much about the search for UAPs is the variability in it. Obviously, with this game, you can change the difficulty, and you have the extreme and nightmare mode. So that does add some variability. But the search for UAPs, you have the different AI difficulty, you have the different starting hint difficulty, you have the different player boards, and then you have the different modifiers. Not to mention each game is, it's different. So that's a tough question. I would probably say the search for UAPs in that specific scenario, but I think if you asked me which deduction game do I like better, I would still say Turing Machine. But honestly, the search for UAPs is a fantastic game, and I feel like either one you can't go wrong. They are different. Search for UAPs is not co-op. It does have a solo mode though, so something to keep in mind. But yeah, hopefully out in the desert I can get, I guess it also depends, like, if I'm out in the desert, I need like an app to run the search for UAPs. I got to charge my phone or whatever. So this, I guess, technically has like the offline codes. So there's like a semi way to play it offline. I don't think you can play UAPs offline. So depends. If I have a phone, probably search for UAPs. But if I don't, then yeah, I would have to go with Turing Machine. Okay, so putting you down for search UAPs in case you get shipwrecked for 20 years. Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. I'll just have to keep that in my like zombie preparedness kit. It's just a copy of the search for UAPs. I mean, I think if you're going for variability, I mean, there's probably games that are better. But as far as deduction games, I mean, these two are fantastic. I'm really blown away with search for UAPs. Like I said, I think in my book, it kind of just replaces Planet X. Maybe I need to also return to Planet X soon to give it like a fair comparison, because it's been a while since I played that, but it's a good one. They're all good games. You can't go wrong in either of the three, really. But some initial deductions. Let's take a gander here. What do we got going on? So square, the middle digit. Is it less than 4? What does that say about stuff? Nothing. If it's equal to 4, what does that say about some of these cards? Nothing. Now, if it's greater than 4, this is where it gets a little crazy. It can't be, right? Because if square is greater than 4, the only digit in this game that's greater than 4 is 5. And if square is 5, well, square is the middle digit, right? It's in the middle, and we got this little card, verifier F, I said was going to come into play for initial deductions, and here it is on the first card. It's trying to figure out the order. Well, if the center digit is the highest, you can't have ascending order. You can't have descending order. It's going to be no order. And so square being greater than 4, it's going to give everything away. It spoils the whole dang game. Well, at least for that verifier. So anyway, Square is less than or equal to 4. Square cannot be 5 in this scenario. Also, I think it's safe to say, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Never mind. There's way more initial deductions. I don't know why I put that up there. Square is less than or equal to. So B is triangle even, is triangle odd. Doesn't matter for verifier A, doesn't really matter for verifier C. It kind of does, but doesn't give it away. Verifier D, who cares? Verifier E, didn't ask. Verifier F, couldn't care less. So B is no initial deductions. C, it's a big one, okay? Number of 3s in the code. Number of 3s can never be 3 3s. Whenever that's an option, I don't know if that's ever a case where it could be 3 3s. It can come up. I've had it. It's not very common. But in this case, you cannot have 3 3s. That would ruin every other card. But 2 3s. Okay, well, that's interesting. You still can't have that, though. Why? Okay, we got verifier E testing for pairs. Spoilers, that would give that away. And then verifier F is testing the order of numbers. And since we have this card here, that kind of tells us we are going to have 3 different digits. We will not have any repeating digits. So there's not going to be 2 3s. There's not going to be 3 3s. It's either 0 or 1. I need to like start capping my marker because it's drying out. 0 or 1, 3. Okay. Which number is the smallest? Great question posed by verifier D here. Let's see if we can start figuring some stuff out. So if triangle is the smallest, does that tell us anything about any of these? Well, kind of. Because if triangle is the smallest, let's look at verifier D. I said I was going to come into play, and here it comes. If triangle is the smallest, that's the first digit. That means it can't be descending order, but it doesn't completely eliminate stuff. It just means it's either ascending order or no order, but it doesn't fully eliminate the card. So, okay, good info. It doesn't really help us now, though. But the second option, is square the smallest? That's a good question, because if it was, square's the middle digit, it can't be ascending order or descending order when the middle digit is the smallest. That just doesn't work. So, square can't be the smallest. It's either triangle or circle. So triangle or circle is the smallest. And then because we know square is not the smallest, square also can't be 1. So we've already eliminated 2 digits, which is not bad. Okay, pairs. There's no pairs. Spoilers. No pairs. There's no pairs. Can't be a pair. Why? Mainly because of verifier F. Once again, ascending or descending order, the digits have to all be different. I think. You know, now I'm like second guessing myself, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. We'll figure out. Maybe I could be completely wrong. But if there was a pair, yeah. I mean, I guess technically that would be no order, but I don't know if you can have no order with like same digits. My brain is telling me you can't, and that's why I'm going with that, but this could be the first game where I'm completely off base with my initial deductions. So fair warning, this could go south. We'll see. We'll see. But that gives us a lot of info. I'm going to go with what's up here is correct and only change it if I feel the need. So that means no pair is just locked in. And we've got all these other options narrowed down to a 50-50 chance. Oh, also, duh, we didn't even look at F. Hello. I kind of forgot about it. My bad. So ascending order. Ascending order. If it was ascending order, would that... What does that tell us about cards? Well, we got this pair card. Now, I already said that there's no pairs, but let's live in a world where we don't know that yet, and E is still a complete mystery to us, right? And if that's the case, if it's an ascending order, then that 100% guarantees all the numbers are different. So, there's no pairs. Okay, well, it can't be ascending order. What about descending order? Same thing, descending order. Hello, this pair card. Also, if it's ascending order, we know which number is the largest. So that messes with both E and D. Same with descending order. That messes with both E and D. So with F, we know there's no order. Huge deductions happening. This is why they're so important to this game. I think, I mean, it's part of the game, right? It's like you gotta figure out stuff before you start going in this, because That helps a ton. I have 2 of the 6 verifiers completely solved. Hopefully. I'm still not 1,000% confident on that no pairs, but I'm pretty sure what, you know, if my memory's correct, that once you have that verifier F, it kind of means all digits are different. So they kind of have to be. But I don't know if no order can have multiple digits. So I'm going to put like a question mark here for now to not fully rely on that. But I think everything else is fairly solid, even though I do use that reasoning, I think it's somewhere else. But we're just going to play it forward. So what do I want to test? I want to test A, C, and D. I want to test if it's less than 4. There's 1, 1. It doesn't matter what's the largest. This is testing smallest. We just can't be testing squares the smallest because we know that. So let's do something like, I don't know, and come up with something real original here. How about 1 and then 2 and then how about a 3? Let's switch it up a little bit, right? Because that will test if it's less than 4, if there's a single 3, and if triangle is the smallest. That's a legit code right there, I'll tell you what. Let me move this back like there. And let's start testing. Let's test A. That's huge. That's huge. I came back a negative. That's like, I don't even have the words to describe how huge that is. Because that just straight up tells us, well, we know square wasn't greater than 4. And now we know it's not less than 4. So square is just 4. It's just straight up 4. Okay, that's a pretty big deduction right off the bat. I'm a little worried I like put the wrong card out or something. Wait, double check. Wait, double check. Not that it can't happen. 573, that's the correct card. That's the correct card and the correct verifier. Okay. Next up, let's test C. Is there a single 1? There is. Look at that. We're just figuring stuff out left and right. So there is 1, 1. So we know there's a 4. So one of these is going to be the 1. We currently don't know which is the smallest, but I could pretty much guarantee. No, wait, sorry, back up. I'm dumb. It's still early. That's the excuse I'm going to use. There's 1, 3. This is testing for number of 3s, not number of 1s. So there's 1, 3. So we have 3 as the triangle or the circle. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. That would have been a huge mistake. Let's test verifier D. And that was testing if triangle is the smallest and triangle is the smallest. So that is verifier D. Verifier D came back true. So triangle is the smallest. Okay, let me think about this. So I think circle has to be 3. And then I think we are going to have to prompt this if it's 2 or 1, because then it's just a 50-50 shot, right? So my logic being, let me zoom in on this. This is what we got going on. It's maybe a little too zoomed in. Actually, that's pretty good. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So we know there's exactly 1, 3. We know triangle is the smallest. We know there's no pairs, question mark. I'm still pretty confident in that, but we're going to leave that as a question mark. But we can for sure say there's no order. That no order is going to matter, right? At this point, the deductions we've made so far, the questions we've asked, we've narrowed down that square has to be 4. One of these has to be 3. If triangle was 3, triangle's the smallest, right? So 3, 4, I guess there could be a pair, and 3, 4, 4 is an option. But if we're saying there's no pairs, then 3, 4, 5 is the only other option. But that can't be the case because that's ascending order and we need descending order, or we need no order. So yeah, that would eliminate that, but I don't. Now I'm second guessing myself about this whole no pair thing. But I'm fairly confident that's the case. because then that would just straight up eliminate that as an option. That would make this 3, and then we'd have 3, 4. And if triangle has to be the smallest, it's either 2, 4, 3 or 1, 4, 3, and then we would narrow that down by asking B. But once again, that is assuming there is no pairs, which I'm gonna just say there isn't. There's no pairs. I'm gonna lock that in, go with my gut. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and that's the way it is. But because if we're locking that in, then circle has to be 3. There's no other way about it. And then a circle has to be 3, and that also means triangle is the smallest. Everything else is just gone. And it's either 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3 or 1, 4, 3. And I'll just use 1, 2, 3 again to ask B. Is it odd or even? It comes back check mark. It's odd, so it's 1, 4, 3. B comes back a check mark. So triangle is odd. Yes. So that's my final guess. Like I said, I think if any question I will get wrong this stream so far, this will be the one. I'm very not sure about my pair initial deductions. It's got me second guessing, but we'll see if I'm correct. So verifier 143. No, that's 142. 143. Is that the correct code? Verify. It is. Let's go. I was right to trust my gut, I guess. So we got 3 questions in the first round, and then only 1 question in the second. Is that right? That can't be right, right? We asked, boom, boom, boom. We knew this and this from the start. I asked that. We only asked 4 questions. Is that correct? I didn't need to ask that or that. Asked that at the end. Got that in 1. Got that in 1. Got that in... Yeah, okay. I think this is correct. So did I beat the machine? Yeah, even if I miscounted and I got in 5, that was still a win. So GG's machine, you can't win today. That's because we are so back. That was a good game though. That was a fun one. Like I said, I was I was very unsure about my initial deductions, but I mean, you can see in the card, the numbers are ascending, descending, or no order. No order. Maybe it's just the example they use, but I feel like if it were allowed to have repeating numbers, it would maybe show it in the example, but it doesn't. They show all the numbers being different. So like, yeah, from what I remember playing in the past, like whenever you see that card, you just are gonna know that all the numbers are gonna be different, but I guess that kind of checks out. But cool. We haven't really used this side of the sheet yet. I guess, like I said, I haven't been wanting to go too crazy with like figuring out the initial deductions and all that, and we got pretty far that last round. I mean, you saw all those initial deductions. That was a crazy amount. That helped us so much. Fun game. How are we doing on time? Hour and a half? Okay, I'm gonna tear this down, take a real quick, like 5-minute break, 5-minute break, whatever, something like that. And then I might try a couple of the hard mode challenges, because I have never, not that I have never played the hard mode, but I'm not good at them. I haven't played them in a while because they're hard. I think they're a significant jump from this difficulty, at least from what I remember. Toiler Zakun Games, this is interesting. Do you show how to play if I do a rewatch? Yeah, I mean, I'm about to play another game, so I can kind of explain it as I go, but first off, welcome on in. Thanks for popping by. I do also stream on YouTube and upload on my YouTube channel. And so like I've played this game a good amount of times there, probably like 4 or 5 at least. So you can always check it out there with me. But I will be playing another game and I can do like a basic explanation. But at its core, it's a, wait, hold on. YouTube. That should work, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, at its core, it's like a deduction game where you're trying to get a code, figure out a 3-digit code by asking a lot of questions to different verifiers. And it's really cool how it works because you have these punch cards that you put together for your 3-digit code, and that gives you a little like window in a card, and then you hold that window up to these cards when you ask a question, and it'll give you a check mark or an X if you're kind of like correct or not. And yeah, It's a really unique game with how it works. It's very fun. Uses like an online site to generate problems. I mean, there's some in like the rule book, but there's like daily challenges. Like I did the daily challenge earlier today. If you're like a fan of like Wordle, you know, this is Wordle's a very popular deduction word game right now. It's still pretty popular, I think. But yeah, I remember when this came out, there was a lot of comparisons to Wordle, which they're both deduction games. I mean, if you've ever played the board game Mastermind, I would say this is a lot closer to a game like that. But it's all deduction. It's all pretty similar in some way or another. But I think this one's a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do another 6 verifier one before I jump to the hard ones, because the hard ones are tough. But I still do want to try a couple today. I think that would be kind of fun, even though it's going to be probably a bit embarrassing for me, as I'm just going to make a fool of myself. But that's fine. I'll live. Okay, so this is all torn down. I'm going to take like a real quick, just like 3-minute break just to stretch my legs, like go to the bathroom and stuff like that. So I'll be back in a few, and then we'll go through probably one more standard problem and then a couple of hard ones. So yeah, I'll be back. All right, where is the button to do the thing? Hello, everybody. I'm not gonna say welcome back to Solo Gaming Sunday. That would be embarrassing, because it's not Sunday. We are solo gaming, just a little bit. Yeah, that was a fun verifier 6 one. So we're gonna do one more of those, because the more verifiers you get, the more initial deductions you can do, and I think those are fun for me. So this is the game code. Once again, I'll throw the game code and the timestamps afterwards. So if at some point you want to try these, you want to try to try these at a later point and try to beat my score, it's definitely a thing you can do. Though if you're watching it after the fact, like that's kind of cheating, unless you like watch it way later in the future. In that case, it's still cheating, just way later in the future. All right, so 21 and 22. Oh, we're getting these verifiers back. The pair, the order, oh man, classics. There's gonna be a huge amount of initial deductions. Huge. Once I see verifier 22, you know stuff's going down. No verifier is safe when verifier 22 is around. It's just a menace. Eliminates other verifiers left and right. Should be locked up. Should be locked up. It's just the society we live in. Verifier D is 781. Okay. 523. And 536. Okay, we're all set up. Yeah, I'll do a real quick rules explanation for if Zakun, you're still there, or anybody else that doesn't know what the heck is going on. I'll do a real quick abbreviated playthrough, or rules explanation. But yeah, like I said, I played this on the channel a bunch, so this is a deduction game. You can play it solo, you can play it co-op, you can play it competitive. It does have a site for it to generate problems, which I did, that tell you what verifier cards to get and the testing cards that match with each verifier card. I am trying to guess a 3-digit code. All the digits are from 1 to 5, and they're designated with the first digit being triangle, second square, and the third is a circle. And I can figure out this by taking these numbers, 1 through 5 cards, and forming them together, 1, 3, 5, to get a code to test with. That gives me this little window that I can put up to these cards from down here, align them up, and I will see, you know, if this card was lying here, this card tests triangle compared to 3. So if I lift this up and I gave it a 1, then we know triangle is less than 3. And you kind of rinse, wash, and repeat until you figure out the code. You can test a single code up to 3 questions per round. And at least in this solo game, I'm just trying to get the code in less amount of questions than the machine does, which normally is like anywhere from 4 to 7 questions. I guess 8 we figured out today, so the machine can ask a lot of questions. But yeah, and one part of this, once you've kind of played the game for a while, is there are kind of initial deductions you can do at the beginning of the game before even asking any questions. You can figure these out because if one option on a card would make another card redundant to ask, that can't be the case, because you need to ask each card. Each card is needed to solve the problem. Each card is relevant. So if a card makes another card irrelevant and just redundant, then that can't be an option. You can use that logic to form kind of some initial deductions. So that's what I'm about to do now. So we're gonna go through each verifier. Verifier A, testing triangle compared to 3. I don't think that eliminates anything. If triangle was 2 or 3 or 4, wouldn't mess with the verifiers. Order, wouldn't mess with that. So I don't think there's any initial deductions for A. B though, number of 1s in the code. So like always, the option for 3 1s is just straight up not an option, because if they were all 1s, every other card out here would be redundant and not needed. So there can't be 3 1s. Could there be 2 1s? No, because this card is testing for pairs, and if there's 2 1s, we know there's a pair, so that would make that card redundant. If there was 2 1s, we would also know there would have to be no order, so we can determine that there's either 0 or just a single 1 in the final code. With verifier C, we're testing square compared to circle. Is square less than circle, equal to circle, greater than circle? I gotta think about this one for a second. I think the main one it interacts with, well, first off, if square was equal to circle, that just can't be the case. Square just can't be equal to circle for a number of reasons, for kind of meta reasons. Once again, square is equal to circle. That would mean it's no order, but I think with no order, you can't have digits equal to each other. So I think it's just, we also have the pair card, but square being equal to circle doesn't necessarily mean there's a pair, because they all could be equal. And then in that case, there wouldn't be technically a pair, but that also can't be the case because ascending and descending. So I think it's fair to say square cannot equal circle. I think, but let me think about that for a second. Is square is less than circle. So that's the second and third digit. Square is less than circle. That doesn't necessarily give away the order, because it could be ascending or no order. Same with if it's less than. So I think it's just square cannot equal circle, and I feel fairly confident in saying that. D, I don't think there's any. E, if there was a pair, that would give away a handful of things, mainly F. So there's no pair. And then with verifier F, if it was ascending order, we'd know there's no pair and would give away C. If it was descending order, it would give away C and E. That'd make those redundant. So verifier F, no order. And with that, we have a ton of initial deductions. Most of them I think are correct. The only one I'm a little unsure about is square not equal to circle, but I'm fairly confident in that. But I think no pair, no order, I feel more confident in this time that I will even write them down so we don't even need to prompt them. And let's get tested in a way. So I want to test probably A, B, and C, really. Start narrowing those down so we could test. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it again. The trustiest code around that never lets me down. 1, 2, and 3. It's one of the best codes. And it tests everything I want to test. So we're going to test A, which tests triangle compared to 3. We're testing it with 1. So we're testing is triangle less than 3. And it comes back an X. So triangle is not less than 3. So triangle is either equal to or greater than 3. And we can eliminate 2 and 3 from our options over there. Not the ideal option. It would have been nice to just figure it out in 1, but hey, you know, info is info. I'll take it. Testing verifier B, we're testing number of 1s, and we're testing it with a single 1. And this comes back a big old negatory. That's fun. So that means there's just there's 0 1s. Because we eliminated the option of 2 or 3, down to a 50-50 chance, so now we know there's no 1s in the final code. How do you know which of the 3 verifier options below A? So you have to kind of think about it, and that's why you like picking the code you test with is you have to kind of pick carefully, because you got to think which of the criteria you want to test. So with verifier A, it's testing triangle if it's less than, equal to, or greater than 3. And we're testing with 1 as the digit. So you're only testing one of these criteria at a time. So if we have 1 as the digit, we're testing the first criteria, which is triangle less than 3. And it came back no. So we now know it's either equal to 3 or greater than 3. But now I would need to maybe test this with like a 4, 2, 3, ask this card again, and then we would know is triangle greater than 3. It's kind of weird to think about, and I definitely, it's one thing that trips people up, I think, when they first play the game. Is like, how do you know what you're doing? How do you this and that? But like once you kind of get the hang of it, but you just kind of think, you know, one of these will always be tested, and it's just dictated by the code you're testing with. So that's why for verifier B, we're looking at that tests the number of 1s. We gave it 1, 2, 3, which just has a single 1 in it. So we were testing the 1 criteria for, is there just a single 1 in the code? And it told us no. The last one we're going to test with this first code is square compared to circle, which we're with 1, 2, 3. We're seeing is square less than circle. And this also comes back a no. We got 3 no's in a row. That's kind of messed up. So C came back to no. With the initial deduction, I said square can't equal circle. And that came back no. So that means circle is greater than square. Or just, no, square is greater than circle. So this is what I got it. And I'm also writing it in the wrong line. See, I'm all tripped up now. So, because we tested it with square less than circle, and that came back no. So square is greater than circle. Great. We got some answers. Well, it's kind of. We're going to start narrowing some stuff down. Put these back. Let's look at what we got going on for a second here. So there's no 1s, no orders, no pairs. We know square is greater than circle. We know that triangle is greater than or equal to 3. Yeah, that doesn't really tell us much. I mean, if square is greater than circle, that means that square can't be 2. Because if it has to be greater than circle, it can't be 2. And if circle is less than square, circle can't be 5, because it has to be less than that. I think that's all we can really eliminate right now without asking some more questions. So it's just, what do we even ask? I want to narrow down what triangle is. And I guess the only other one to know is D. Could I figure it out with just knowing D? Because I think I need to ask D, but do I need to also ask A? That's the real question. We're already at 3 questions so far. Not bad. Going to a 4th question is fine. Going to a 5th question, we'll start pushing whether the machine beats me or not. I also got to think no order, no pairs. The no order is kind of kind of huge, right? Because we know that this that square is greater than circle. So that means triangle has to be less than square. Because, yeah, right? Hold on, I gotta think, because square is greater than circle, and we have to have no order, because if triangle was greater than square, we would have descending order, and that's no good. So triangle is going to have to be, triangle is less than square, because we know that the numbers are in no order. If triangle was greater than square, we would be going in descending order, and that's no good. We don't want that. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. This is all locking into place. We need to start asking some more questions. I kind of want to know A. I really want to know A. So let's test 4. Triangle is less than square. So we'll go 5, 3, 4, 5, 3. I don't know. Because I just want to mainly test if triangle is greater than A or triangle is greater than 3, which we got 4. And D, we could give it whatever code and we get a valid answer that'll help us. So let's test 4, 5, 3 and see what it spits back. So is triangle greater than 3? And it comes back a check mark. It is. So triangle is not 3. It's greater than 3. Which means it still could be 4 or 5, right? No, it can't be 5. It can't be 5, because like I said, triangle cannot be greater than square. We also know that there's no pairs, so both can't be 5. So I think triangle has to be 4. I think that's a sure thing. And then if square has to be greater than triangle, that means square has to be 5. And that means that the only options left for circle, if there can't be pairs, circle can't be 4, is 3 or 2. And I think that means we're going to have to prompt the last question to figure that out. I don't think there's any way I can intuit that, unfortunately. Still, 5 questions I think is a formidable attempt, but let's see. So what sum are we giving it? We're giving it 8, 12. So we're getting it a sum of even. So is the total sum of all the digits even? And it comes back a check mark. Big old check mark. So what's our first 2 digits? Our first 2 digits add up to 9, and it needs to be even. So the last digit's 3 is what this is looking like. Right, so 4, 5, 3. Let's check if all this checks out. Triangle's greater than 3. We're good. No 1s. We're good. Square is greater than circle. It is. The sum is even. It is. There's no pairs. The order is not ascending or descending. That looks solid to me. 4, 5, 3. I'm ready to lock it in, but I don't know if we're gonna get in enough questions or not. I mean, probably, surely. So we'll test the code on the website 453 and test is it the correct code, and it is the correct code. Glad to see that. But now that we know we have the correct code, we have to enter in our results and see, did we beat the machine? Did we get it in fewer questions than them? Which I'm pretty confident we did. We did. We beat the machine. It took us 5 questions. The machine got it in 6. So that is a win. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, we got the best song on the album right after. As a way to celebrate. Okay, but now, so that was a standard difficulty. So there's also different difficulties. There's easy, medium, easy, standard, and hard. There's also extra game modes. There's like a nightmare and extreme game mode. I'm gonna try some of the hard difficulties. See how those go. But fair warning, they're going to be very slow going. I will probably get them wrong because I've never really played them, but it would be fun to just try. So we'll see how those go. But the verifiers, I think, are just like a huge jump in difficulty, where easy and standard only use, there's 48 verifier cards total. Easy and standard only go up to verifier cards 22. So that means there are 26 other cards just for the hard difficulty. And some of them are kind of hard. Some of them are insanely difficult where they have like 9 criteria you're testing for. And it takes forever to narrow down. Got to really use facts and logic to get there, but we'll give one a whirl at least. How am I doing on time? Like 2 hours? Yeah, we'll do like 1 or 2. This isn't going to be a super long stream today, but so far it's been going pretty good. Been pretty chill vibes. Glad to be playing this game again. Like I said, it's a fun one. It's one I really enjoy. I guess, I don't know, this wouldn't be my pick for a desert island game per se, but I think it's my favorite deduction game that I have. Still probably in my top 10, I would say. You know, games come and go from my top 10, especially depending on how much I'm playing them, but I think this is just a super solid one. 21, 22. Erase my boards, and then we'll give some hard questions an attempt. I don't even know how many verifiers. Maybe we'll start with 5. That seems like a good... That's like the middle ground, right, of like verifier numbers, because you can either go 4, 5, or 6. I'm kind of curious how this is gonna go. Fair warning, is gonna be slow going, so we're gonna do solo, classic, hard mode, 5 verifiers. Oh boy, okay. I didn't know verifiers can go that high. So we got verifier 19 is the first one. Love to see that. Verifier 33, didn't know this one existed. Come on, get everything into place. There we go. 35. These are gonna be tough, okay. 41. Don't think I've ever used this verifier. Oh God, yeah, this is why. These are tough. And 42, okay, this is gonna be tough. But that's the point, it's supposed to be hard, right? Surely, I don't think there's gonna be like any initial deductions, but I'll still look. I'll still try. 355. $344. Making sure I also don't get these wrong. That'd be embarrassing to put a wrong card down. 391, and last but not least, 720. So double 360. Okay. Have you ever played this multiplayer? Seems like if someone had a knack for this, they would crush the others. Maybe best solo. I have played this multiplayer, and I would agree. If someone has a knack for this, they, I think, would absolutely crush other players. But that's why it's great, because you can play this co-op as well. And personally, I've had this game for two-ish years now, and I don't think, besides the day I got it and I was playing it at Gen Con with some people, competitively, I have never once played this competitively since. I much prefer co-op. I think it's more fun and chill. It's the exact same as solo. Like, you use the exact, that's why it's solo / co-op. But you definitely can play it competitively, and if you did, you can maybe like give yourself a handicap if you played it a bunch, where you could just like start with a question, maybe get like one less question during the first round or something like that, just as like a bit of a handicap. But yeah, it plays solo, co-op, and competitive for like the 3 game modes. But yeah, I love it solo, and I'm a big co-op fan, so this is a fun one. Okay, so let's get started on this hard problem. See if there's any initial deduction. Let me go through the verifiers first, because I need to do this for my own sake. I was gonna say sanity. Verifier A, classic one, tests the first 2 digits added up compared to 6. Verifier B, we're starting to get into crazy territory here. So this verifies that a specific color is even or odd. But the issue is we don't know what color it's testing for. So it could be testing, is triangle even or odd? Is square even or odd? Or circle even or odd? So there's 6 options on that one. Verifier C is testing which color has the largest number or is tied for the largest number. That's interesting. So one number is either largest or tied for the largest. So it's either, well, I need to read these options, it's kind of confusing. So blue is the largest or is equal to purple and yellow. Oh, so they're either all the largest or one is the largest. Okay, I think that's how that's supposed to read. Verifier D tests the number of one specific color compared to 4. This one, I want to try to zoom in on this. This one has 9 options on it because we basically have to narrow down first off what color this card is testing for, and then figure out what criteria it's testing for. Okay. And then verifier E, 6 options. And this verifies which color is the smallest or the largest. So yeah, it tests a lot of options. And as you can see, yeah, all these cards have 6 options, 3 options, 9 options, 6 options. So it's going to be a lot tougher to narrow down. Like I said, I will mention this again. I have hardly played this mode at all, so this will be a struggle. I'm going to get some stuff wrong. Probably not going to get the code, but we're going to try. So I don't think there's any initial deductions to be made. I don't know if there even if that's possible. Let's see, though. Okay, if the sum was less than 6... they could still all be the same, so that doesn't... If the sum was less than 6, it doesn't matter if odd or even. If the sum was less than 6, it doesn't really matter compared to 4. I guess if it was greater... Okay, well, hold on. So if the sum is greater than 6, one number compared to 4, one number would have to be greater than 4, but it doesn't tell us which one, so that sucks. B is testing if it's odd or even. Doesn't really tell us anything about any other one, so I don't think there's anything for that. C, if the number has the... which color has the largest number or is tied for the largest number? It's such a weird one. So it's either testing if it's the largest or they're all the same? It seems unlikely that it's possible for them to all be the same, right? Especially because this one's also testing for smallest or largest. So I feel like these two here... I feel like it means there has to be a largest. There can't all be tied for the largest. But we don't know which one is the largest. And I feel like compared to... for this one, compared to 4... I mean, I don't feel like it can be equal to 4 because the equal to 4 options would give it away if it's even or odd. If it's 4, it's even. So then that would make this card... kind of redundant, but we don't know what so that the issue is. Could you slowly explain which number symbol you choose and how the verifier will work with it? Yeah, I'll go through my explanation, but like I said, this hard mode is hard. So the issue is, so the verifier always knows one specific piece of information. Normally it's pretty easy to gauge that down, but now like verifiers B, C, D, and E all have way more information to try to figure out, to even parse like the result we're getting and what it means. So I honestly, like I said, I'm very new to this game mode. I'm just gonna go with the classic 1, 2, 3 because I just want to test some stuff and see what results I get back. I really don't have too much thought into this. I just need to start seeing what I get back and how it works. So let's just test verifier B. Let's see what happens and kind of go from there. Because like I just need to start doing this to figure out what's going on. So this card is testing that a specific color is even or odd. Okay. So we're giving it 1, 2, 3, and it comes back a check mark. So what does that mean? Let me write that down first. So B. It's telling us one of 3 things. We've narrowed it down to a 50-50 result, right? I think. Because we're giving it triangle is odd, square is even, and circle is odd. And it came back a check mark. That doesn't mean all of those are true. It means one of those 3 things are true. The other 2 may or may not be true. It doesn't mean it is, doesn't mean it isn't. So we either have that B is testing for is triangle odd, or square is even, or circle is odd. So we definitely are going to have to prompt that again to figure out, first off, which it's kind of testing and what is the right criteria. Once again, I am very new to these verifiers, so I'm learning as I go a little bit here. Okay. Let's test verifier D. So a number compared to 4. So I think I was pretty sure in that. I don't think the number can be 4. Maybe it still can be. I don't want to make any initial deductions because I really am unsure about what I'm going into here. And this comes back in X. So we still don't know what exactly this is testing for, but it's either, we don't know what it knows. So either, oh, this is gonna take so many attempts to like really narrow down what's going on. I'm very curious how many it takes the machine to get like a hard problem, but I guess we'll figure out here soon. So we know that triangle greater than or equal to 4. We don't know that, but that's one of the options this thing could be testing for. Square is also possibly greater than or equal to 4. But once again, we can't narrow down anything because we don't actually know which of these options it's testing for. Or what do we get? Circle is less than 4. So that's also circle greater than equal to 4. So it's one of those 3 options that it's testing for one of these numbers being greater than 4. So like this first code, I really went willy-nilly with, and I think that's fine. This next code, I'm gonna have to be very specific about what numbers I pick to get good results from these that actually make sense. So let's test the last one, which is E. Which color is the smallest or largest? And we get a check mark. Or sorry, no, we get an X. What do we just can't read? So D came back an X, E comes back an X. So what does that mean? So blue is not the smallest. We didn't even test anything for square, and circle is not the largest. That's what we figured out. So triangle is not smallest. We still don't really know. We're just, once again, trying to figure out what the verifiers are testing for, and then we can actually start putting that info into our code. Once again, I think that's how this all works. So triangle is not the smallest. Circle is not the largest. It's possibly what these codes are testing for. So, okay, that is some amount of information. I like it. Maybe I should have tested verifier A because that's like a simple one, but live and let live. So, okay. So what do we got going on here? So I need to start, I kind of want to ask all of these again with some better options. So for example, so B is either testing one of 3 things. We still know which of these options are correct, but it's either testing is triangle odd, is square even, or is circle odd. So what I need to do now is give it something like 1, 3, 2, where we want to just change just one of these options to really narrow down what's going on where. So if I gave it triangle is odd, square is odd, circle is even, then we'd really know if we get a check, triangle is odd is the correct piece of information. If not, we still need to narrow it down again. I need to do something similar where I basically, this is one of these 3 options is what is being tested, triangle, square, or circle being more than 4 for verifier D. So I just need to give one of those numbers as more than 4, the rest less, and then see if we get a check mark that way. And then maybe I'll test verifier A this time. This is breaking my brain a little bit, I'll be honest, but I'll keep on keeping on. Hopefully what I'm saying is not complete nonsense, but I'm gonna test with 1, Square needs to be odd, so we're gonna go 3. No, we'll go 1, 5. I guess it doesn't really. No, we'll go 1, 3. I'm just thinking about what I want to test. 1, 3, and then 5, yeah. So that way, I'm going to ask A to get some result. I'm going to ask B to narrow that down, hopefully to 1 result, if not eliminate 1 result. And then same with D. I'm asking 1 result. If I get lucky, I might get a check mark, but if not, it's going to leave me with 50-50 shot. Okay, so 135 is my next code. 135. And let's start asking some questions. So is triangle and square less than 6? I ask it and it says no. It says no. So triangle plus square is going to be greater than or equal to 6, not less. Okay, good to know. Verifier B is one we want to prompt. So we're prompting it with, we've narrowed down that this verifier is testing one of 3 things. And we're going to figure out, is triangle odd what this is testing? If it comes back a check, that's huge. This is huge. And it did. So we've discovered what verifier B is testing. Verifier B was testing triangle, whether it's odd or even, and it came back triangle is odd. Once again, I'm assuming what my logic is correct. Once again, I am very new to this game mode and these verifiers, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. Okay, that's that. And then finally, we want to test E. We're testing it with circle. No, we don't want to. We want to test D. D. Yes. If one of these is greater than 4, and we're testing it with circles. So is circle the one being tested greater than 4? It is not. So that doesn't necessarily mean circle is not greater than 4, but that's not what this card is testing. So that is no longer an option. Bummer. So we tested A, we got that. B, we got a check mark. And then D, we got an X again. So that eliminates circle being greater than 4 as what's being tested. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not true, I think. And that's all of our testing for this round. So we'll reevaluate and figure out the next code. I'm very curious to see how many it takes the machine to get this, because I know it's going to take me a while. I like that you're struggling. I never gave this game much thought when it came out, but seeing the different possibility makes it very tempting. Yeah, no, I mean, it has a website that generates problems, so you can literally get like infinite amount of problems. And yeah, between the different difficulty levels, you got easy, standard, hard, then you have the different verifier numbers. So I'm playing with 5, but you can go 4 or 6. And then there's also there's classic mode, then there's an extreme mode, and a nightmare mode, where I think it's like one of the modes, I forget which one's which, but one of them adds another card out here. So each verifier has 2 testing cards, and you don't know which is which. So it's like another thing of elimination. And then I think the other mode, it switches all the cards around, so you don't know which verifier card is paired to what thing. Like, it messes up the order. So I haven't messed with either of those modes much, because I think just the standard game is a fun enough challenge. But yeah, it can get pretty up there, as you can see with this hard mode. I'm struggling a little bit. I still haven't even asked C. I don't know what the largest is, but we do know a couple of things. So we know triangle and square are going to be greater than or equal to 6. So we actually can't eliminate anything right now. We know triangle's odd, so that eliminates those 2 options. D would be good. I need to prompt C. I need to prompt E again. So we know triangle is not the smallest, so we can maybe see if triangle is the largest, testing with like 5, because that could test a couple of things. We could test A, D, and E. That would be a good one to go with. Then we test, throw in a 2 there for the square, and then literally anything for the circle. It does not matter. It does, but it doesn't. So 521 is my next test code. All right, we're really working down the sheet here. This is going into round 3. This doesn't happen at least in the standard mode, much. Okay, so 521. I want to first double check verifier A. Is the sum greater than 6? And this comes back no. That is very surprising and really good to know. So that comes back no, which means that the sum of the first two digits will equal 6. Which means 5 is still definitely in the realm of possibilities for triangle. But now let's see. Big question of the day. Verifier D, is triangle greater than 4? That's not what's being tested. So that means that circle is greater than... No, triangle is not greater. That means square is greater than or equal to 4, I think is what that means. I think. D comes back negative. So square is greater than or equal to 4, which means that eliminates a lot of possibilities. But if we know the sum equals 6 of the first two digits, then square just straight up can't be 4, because that just doesn't, that math doesn't math. So that means we got 1 and 5 as our first two digits, and now we need to figure out the last digit. How do we figure out the last digit? I guess we prompt E again to see if circle is the smallest or triangle is the largest. Are either of those things possibly true? No. So triangle is not the largest. So triangle is just nothing. Wait, how can that be? Because we learned that triangle is not the smallest, right? But this is saying that possible. Well, I guess we don't know, do we? What am I asking for E? We prompted it with 1, 2, 3, and it came back no. So it's definitely not testing triangle. We don't know anything about triangle from that. Square, we gave it 1, 2, 3. And it came back an X. So that didn't tell us anything about square. And also this doesn't tell us anything about square. Great job, Thomas. Good codes, good codes. Then we gave it circle last time of 3 being the largest. Came back an X, so circle is not the largest. So it's got to be something with square. Square is either the largest, and right now square is 5. So I think that's a safe bet to say that square is the largest. Now, have I already asked 3 this round? Yeah, I guess because I haven't written it down, but E came back negative. I think I maybe only need to ask like one more question, even though I'm already at 9 questions. This is ridiculous. But I mean, it comes down to 1, 5 something. But let's look at what we got. So we've completely solved everything besides C and E. But I think E is pretty solved at this point. I think E is just squares the largest, I think. Which we use C, which we don't know. C tells us if the number is the largest or tied for the largest. I think. I don't know if I'm properly interpreting that, but I think it has to be maybe 155. And here's my logic. Because of this, if this tells us that square is tied for the largest, that tells us the code is 155. If not, we don't know what circle is. It could be 4, 3, 2, or 1. It could be any other number. But I think because of that, and there's only one unique solution, it has to be 155. That seems correct, but I feel like I've made some mistakes along the way. Do you do 3 tests with each set of number? Yes, though you can choose to not. You could do like, I believe you could just choose to do like 1 or 2, but you could do max of 3 with a number for each round. Even though you could use the same number back to back. So like when playing solo, you could just keep using the same number, but most of the time it's advantageous to switch up your numbers to get better test results. I think 155 seems decent for what information I have, but I am not feeling any way confident about that answer. But that's all I have with what I got. So let's see if that's even remotely close. 155. Is this correct? That is not the correct code. I figured that would happen. That's a loss then. So let's go back to the game, see the solution. I'm very curious, A, what the solution was, where I went wrong, but then also how many it took the machine to get it. I guess we don't actually know. The answer was 423. I was so far off, that's not even close. So we do, that equals 6. We got that right. So B was actually testing that circle is odd. I made a wrong assumption. Yikes. Okay, triangle equals 4 was what D was testing. That was also not what I had at all. And then square being the smallest is not what I had almost every single one of these wrong. I made wrong assumptions every which way. So let me look back at what I had. Well, first off, let me see if I can do this. Hold on, go back to game, test a code. Was it 423 or something like that? 432. Okay, did I beat the machine? Whatever. I'm just not gonna enter anything. Whatever, I'll enter 1. Did I beat the machine? It took the machine 10 questions. So if I was actually right, I would have beaten them. But the issue is I was not even close to being right. So let's, I'm still new at this game mode. So let's evaluate what went wrong. Where did my assumptions go and lead me astray? So obviously verifier A is a pretty easy one. I don't think there was any real issues with that. Verifier B, I tested twice. I'm starting to see now. So both times I got a check mark. I see. I was too quick to jump to conclusions because, as you could see, so I tested it twice with 123 and 135. I got a check mark both times. So I jumped to the assumption that, oh, that must mean triangle is equal to odd. But that was not a correct assumption because I also tested both times with circle being odd and I didn't change that option. So I got check mark both times because circle was the one that was actually being tested, and I just happened to make triangle odd both of those times. So I didn't do enough testing there, and I kind of jumped to conclusions. Whoops. C, I didn't even test. I feel like I should have. It was 423, so it did come back that triangle was either the largest or tied for the largest, which in this case it was. D, what happened with D? I tested that every round, and I still got it wrong. So D was actually testing whether triangle was equal to 4. So what was I testing? I first gave it 1, 2, 3, and I got back a big old negative. So I think I even thought at the beginning that triangle couldn't equal 4. But then I didn't write that as an initial deduction because that didn't seem correct. And it obviously wasn't because that was one of the final options. But I think in my head, these first numbers I eliminated were all less than 4, and I think in my head I still thought it couldn't be 4, so I didn't even consider that as an option. But technically, yes, that would eliminate all 3 of those for this bottom 3 options, but then there's still 6 other options. And the next I tested is triangle greater than 4, and that came back an X, so that eliminated that as an option. And then I tested circle greater than 4, then I tested if triangle is greater than 4. So I knew of the 6 options I had eliminated 2 of them. And technically, I still had 4 other options. Right? So that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, I see how I went wrong there. I was too quick to assume that they couldn't be equal to 4, which in this case they were. And finally, let's see what went wrong with E. Okay, so E I tested twice. E was actually testing square, and it was telling us that square is the smallest. So what went wrong here? So E I first tested with 1, 2, 3. I got an X. So I knew that it wasn't testing for triangle being the large. I think I was backwards with this because if I got an X, Well, let me think about this. Hold on. So this was testing about square. And both times, I think I made the realization that it was testing for square. But I came to the conclusion that square is the largest somehow. Which I think I was pretty sound in my logic, but I think square actually had the possibility of both being smallest or the largest. But at that point, I had already made the assumption that square was 5, so I just assumed square was the largest, and I didn't need to test if it was the smallest. But that was incorrect, because this being 5 was incorrect. So that led me to not test this more. So I was kind of close with this one. Sort of close with this one. And I was pretty far off, I think, with this. I don't know. I see where I went wrong most of the time, but I guess I don't understand. How do you get this? I mean, I did that in 9 verifiers. I still would have had to verify a few more times to correct my mistakes. How are you supposed to get this in 10? Maybe there's initial deductions to be made. Probably there is, but I'm not seeing any. That's tough. That's tough. Okay. I think I'll wrap it up here. That was a good one to end on, a little hard problem. What happened to my music? I gotta keep turning it back on. Just ended for the second time anyway. But yeah, I think I'll wrap up this stream here. I'll hop to my just chatting screen as I kind of just hop out of here. But yeah, this game I'm glad to be returning to. I've played this quite a lot on the channel. Zakoon, if you're interested, like I said, I linked my YouTube channel earlier. I have past videos and streams on there, and I've played this like 4 or 5 times. I have like a playlist somewhere. One of my most recent videos I did on this actually was there are certain problems that you can get in this game that you can solve without asking a single question, that you can use initial deductions and a lot of just logic and time that you can actually solve certain one of these problems without asking a single question. So that was like my most recent video I did on this, and that was a lot of fun. Those questions aren't common and they take a lot of time. I only knew about most of them because someone else had found them, but yeah, it's very cool. So yeah, I'm glad to be returning to this game. I'm gonna have to come back and play some more hard problems sometime. Hopefully it won't be a year until I play this again, but yeah, had fun. I really like deduction games. After playing the Search for EAPs, I was like, man, I forgot how much I like deduction games. I need to bust out Turing Machine, and I'm glad I did, because it's a fun one. And you think it just costs you money? Enjoyed this a lot. I mean, I think this is a phenomenal game that you can't go too wrong getting. And yeah, it's one I still really, really enjoy. But yeah, I'm going to kind of wrap up there. I'm keeping this one a bit short because it's just a little midweek stream. I guess it's not midweek, it's Tuesday. But let's see. I will, yeah, I'll be streaming again on I'm doing a couple of little streams throughout the week. So I will be streaming again Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So basically, right now, like basically on Thursday is when I'll be starting. I'll be playing from Forbidden Lands. Be playing that for a couple hours. Probably not a huge long stream, like 2 or 3 hours like this one. And then I'll be back on Friday for an exciting stream where I will be playing some solo RPGs, some one-page RPGs. So there's a contest, like a game jam type thing that's been going on for at least 2 years now for one-page RPGs. There was one last year. I didn't really get to play any of them because I didn't know about it. And then there's one this year, which I want to try some of them because some of them look very cool. So I'll be playing through like probably 3 or 4. I have like 5 ready, but I'll probably only play like 3 or 4 of them on Friday. And then I'll be back next Sunday for Solo Gaming Sunday playing I don't know what, because that'll be decided on by my Tier 2 YouTube members, and they're still deliberating and holding conferences and forming councils and debating and then having elections and votings and runoff votes. So it's a process. It's in the works, but next Solo Gaming Sunday will be something cool, hopefully. But yeah, that's it for this little stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate everybody that tuned in live. We had Dean and JJJ Dragon and Joseph, and who else? We have Tom on the YouTube side, and of course KDK and Zakoon Games on Twitch. But appreciate everybody hanging out for this little Turing Machine stream. Hope everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday, And I'll see all of y'all on Thursday for some Forbidden Lands. See ya. Have a good next couple days, everybody. Go crack some codes. It's a fun time.